Hi, welcome to the Strong New Me blog. This is Niall. Today, I would like to share with you the reasons why we decided to homeschool our children, or what really sold us to homeschooling. If you don't know me yet, I actually have three kids. Kraus is turning 6, and my second is 4, next is 2. So they're pretty much spread out in a 2-year gap. Let me just hop right into the reasons why. Or first, let me give you a quick background. My eldest actually had experience in traditional school for 2 years, and my second had 1 year experience in school, which honestly, I don't really know what she was I mean, if she learned something in school, because most of the time, the teacher would just tell me or report to me that she was just running around the classroom and getting under the tables, and she's purely kinesthetic, and I don't really think that my second K actually learns in a traditional way of teaching. So that is also one of the biggest reasons why we decided to homeschool our children. So let me just hop into the next slide. The biggest reason would be to instill obedience. I'm a follower of Miss Joy Mendoza. She writes about marriage, homeschooling, and living a Christian life on her blog, teachwithjoy.com. So the really good thing that, or the message that really spoke to us is that if you want to homeschool your children, you need to instill obedience. Of course, who doesn't want a parent who doesn't want her children to obey them? We know parents as we are, we always want what's the best for our children, but when it comes to showing them our love and affection, but at the same time setting boundaries on the things that they can and they cannot do. There's something that we really need to impose. So it's a balance between showing them love and discipline that gives complete, or shall I say, giving the perfect mix would give you obedience from your children. So that's something that I would really want to achieve with my kids, and also one of the reasons why we wanted to homeschool. If you might not notice, is that in traditional school, your kids leave in the house at 7 a.m. or so to avoid traffic and all, and then comes back home at a already late time of the day. And not to mention that aside from the long hours that they spend in school, they are actually still bombarded with a whole lot of schoolwork that needs to be done. So this is the part that actually creates a lot of friction between you and your child, because they're already exhausted in school, and of course they don't want to deal with it anymore by the end of the day, and that's the only time that you will come in and try to teach them stuff. So, and that's a very difficult thing if most of the time that they will be spending would be outside of your home. And as you may also know, that there has been a cliche already that the best behavior starts from home. But how can you instill a best behavior if that most of the time that the children spends is outside of your home, which is actually in school? So like just to sum all that right up, is just we want our kids to be more um there are certain characters that we want our children to develop, and that is one of it would be obedience. Next would be borderless learning. That's something that really also um, that's something that I would really want to adopt as well with my children, is that is it the fact that they don't just be stuck on a mindset that the only time that they will be learning from school is when they are in the four walls of their classrooms. I want my children to know that anywhere they go, there is actually learning that needs to happen, and it's really fulfilling to know that you can actually achieve this with homeschooling. I don't mean to judge other parents who choose otherwise, or the traditional option of going to school, but this is something that I would really want my kids to experience, when you don't have to be in school to be able to learn. And I'm really amazed with the the transition of my daughter Kay from being the what you call that one, being a big problem inside the classroom, not being able to sit still and listen, is that this year around June 2016, that's usually when school year starts here in the Philippines. So we did not enroll them in a traditional school, and just went through a few lessons here and there at home, just to give them a condition their mind that I will become their teacher, and they will not, or more or less going through the process of unschooling, wherein I noticed that my daughter actually is not responsive to letting her sit and letting her do some activities at her very young age. So at 4 years old, she's still having a hard time with alphabet and numbers, wherein I know my eldest Kraus was already very well versed with those concepts even before she turned 4, or he was just around 3 years old. So what I did with Kay is that I just let her play, and I did not even include her in any activities yet that involves anything that involves like alphabets or something that she needs to learn. I just let her play and do her creative thinking. So a few months later, I just realized that when she's having an alone time, or when she's just randomly lying in bed and doing nothing, she's actually practicing counting all by herself. Um, she started counting, and she started to sing her ABCs all by herself, and I, that's not. I mean, I don't. I am not even there in the picture. So, like, borderless learning is something that as well really sold me to homeschooling. Next is turn them into self-learners. Yes, this is the part that I know I really had difficulty on when I was in school. Like, I can't stick to my reading comprehension. I know that my reading comprehension isn't really that good, not until I've completely enhanced myself, um, working from home and learning a lot of stuff myself. That's when I actually enhanced that skill. But homeschooling actually gives your children the opportunity to learn things by themselves. It's just that you, as your parent teacher, would need to instill to them the right foundations, or the right foundational skills that they need to have in order to become more self-sufficient. Self-sufficient by means that you don't really have to be there for them the whole time to spoon feed their lessons to them. they would be more independent when it comes to their learning. And with traditional school, I'm tutoring my cousin, and this is really difficult for them to actually do some self-study and learn for themselves. They just need to wait for the things that the teacher needs to give them. And that's not something that I would really want to happen with my kids. And I know with homeschooling, I have that opportunity to correct um, these major things that can be improved in the traditional school. The next one would be freedom. Of course, I'm working from home. It's funny actually that the conversation about homeschooling started about a friend in that I have in Facebook who posted about being a digital nomad. If you don't know me yet, I'm a work I'm full-time working from home as well as taking care of my children and my family. So the beauty of travel actually is really enticing for anyone, and it's something that I initially thought that I could do, having or being location independent when it comes to my work. But then I told her that, well, I can't be a digital nomad because I have 3 kids and they go to school and learning can be difficult because they go to school, so I can't leave. And then yeah, she actually told me that you can actually homeschool. Oh really? I did not even know that it's possible in the Philippines. Well, it is. I know someone who's currently homeschooling right now. Then that's the only time that I actually took the effort and time to learn more about homeschooling, and that's initially where the freedom that I thought actually came from. But it hit me that the complete freedom that I really wanted to have was being able to adjust my time and have the flexibility that I need when it comes to balancing my work and my family's needs. So pretty much, I think I've already shared a lot of stuff already. So um, that's what that would be the major reasons why we decided to homeschool. So few advantages. Oops, sorry about that. I'm actually checking my time. So few disadvantages that I actually saw or some other homeschoolers are already affirming is that homeschooling entails a lot of sacrifice. I know I'm not officially homeschooling yet, but over the past several months that I'm trying to unschool them, I need to dedicate the time and effort to really sit and teach them because they're still young and they haven't set the right foundations yet for them, of course, to be learning for themselves. So I need to be there to actually be their teacher. And if you are like if you're not like me, you're not working from home or you have a job, that can be very difficult. But I did see some mothers who are working full time but still decided to homeschool their children, and they said that it's actually possible. So for me, like I don't have any excuse not to pull it off. I know that I've chosen my family over my income and professional growth because when I had my eldest Kraus, I completely decided that I would want to be the one who will take care of him, and that's why I quit my job and and really worked hard in finding my way around working from home. And I'm glad I actually did, and here I am right now, 6 years later, trying to be in more responsibility of their growth and their future. That is actually as well part of us being in intentional parents. rather than parents who would actually just say, where did the years go and why is this happening to my child, and all those problems in the future. So I'm not trying to judge parents who choose to who chose other path for them, but for me, I know that being here with my family right now is something that I love doing and I would love to continue doing. So that covers time and effort consuming. So next would be, it's not necessarily a cheaper alternative. Um, First of all, homeschooling is not really cheap. We are not a well-off family, and we just have enough. But although that homeschooling can be a, what do you call this one, a challenge for us, like let's say financially, but I'm still determined to like go through and do my best to be our as a couple, to do our best to provide for us to be able to sustain a homeschooling lifestyle for our children. So it's not necessarily a cheaper alternative, although with our soon to be homeschooling provider, they have like, you only pay for, let's say, a certain amount if you have additional children. So it's not really like, the more children you have, the more savings you will have. So that is something, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's actually a cheaper alternative, because you need to buy for their curriculums and including the teachers' manuals and all. So we're also doing our best to prepare ourselves for that. Now, this is not really a common objection, but it's just a common objection about homeschooling families. Like, what about their social skills? And they will become like weird individuals who can't relate to society. So I did my research as well when it comes to this aspect of homeschooling, and we're blessed to know that when we're able to attend one of the homeschooling intro from the homeschooling provider, that they discussed about social skills. One big question that really hit home for us as well, when the question is, when you started your work, or when you are in a real outside scenario, did it ever occur that your colleagues at work actually has the same age as yours? I mean, if you come to think of it, you will have colleagues in all different ages. So it doesn't necessarily mean that being able to send your kids in traditional school prepares their social skills to the real world, because you are only socializing with your classmates who has the same age as yours, who has the same experiences as yours, and probably even um, a more or less like, I mean, your boss could be older than you, your colleague can be older than you, or could be younger than you. In the real world, that's the real scenario. And when you're homeschooling, your children or the kids can actually speak to you as the adult. They can speak to their cousins or to a lot of different people. Homeschooling providers also connects other homeschoolers that will give them opportunity to meet up in co-ops and share and cross teach between other homeschooling families and other homeschool children. So it's really a complete mix of people or individuals that your children will be able to associate themselves with. And I know I don't have personal experience with this yet, but as I've gone through my research, is that the other homeschoolers would actually enroll their children into other classes. Like, let's say, for example, they know that they won't be able to teach mape or music with their children, so they will have to enroll them in a different um, class, like go to a violin class or ballet class. So this is where they would also be able to socialize with other kids. And for us, our children also goes to Sunday school every Sunday, so they also have that opportunity to meet with other children, not necessarily even at their age, but also children of varying ages with them. So that is really the biggest objection that homeschoolers encounter, how our kids will develop social skills, where in fact it's counterintuitive that the 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 traditional school isn't the one that's actually providing your children with the real life social skills, because they're only like what I said, they're only able to interact most with children on with their age. And especially if you're going to the same school, and most likely your children are also interacting with kids of your social class. Like if you're going through a high-end school, don't I hope you will not take it negatively against me, but that's just reality as it is. Well, only a few people can afford like really high paying schools, so you would expect that the families or the children that are enrolled in that school are those who can afford the the school itself. So yeah, that's pretty much how actually homeschooling can be a really good alternative of, well, it did not really become as an alternative for us, but it was once we learned about homeschooling that it was possible in the Philippines, and we learned more about what it can offer and how it can affect our children's lives. It was actually the number one choice that we have for our children. So if you're still on the fence and you you're looking to learn more about um, homeschooling, then I highly recommend that you visit my blog. That's www.thestrongyou.me. I will be blogging more about homeschooling and how we'll be able to implement homeschooling as well, especially in the Philippines. So I hope you really found this video or slideshow helpful. And if you have any questions, please feel free to send me a comment below. I'll also be adding links below on Miss Joy's blog and my blog. So thank you so much for taking the time, and I hope you have a good day.